What up, world? Established Rich coming right back at you. Today, I want to talk about one of the most polarizing artists in the music industry, Chris Brown. To some, he's the king of R&B, and to others, he's been canceled since 2009. But love him or hate him, you cannot deny the man's talent, and you definitely cannot deny the impact he's had on the music industry. Let's start with the obvious. Chris Brown is a phenomenal singer, dancer, performer, and visual artist. His talent isn't in question. It never has been. He holds records for the most gold-certified singles of any male singer, the most multi-platinum singles of any male artist, and he's had over 100 songs chart on the top 10. And yet, he's been ignored by major outlets for years. Tank recently made headlines by saying Chris Brown is better than Michael Jackson. And while that sent the internet into a frenzy, Chris Brown himself responded with humility. He said, and I quote,
"That's cap."
He went on to say, I wouldn't even be breathing if that man didn't exist. He's light years ahead. There's no competing with him. Now, that's called respect. That's called honoring the foundation. And a lot of people could learn from that. But here's what I really want to talk about. Why is Chris Brown still being blackballed? Why is this man who owned up to his mistakes still being ignored in 2025? Is it because he made mistakes when he was 19? Or is it because people just don't want to let him evolve? And get it right, I'm not saying Chris Brown is perfect. He has been through some dark chapters. He was diagnosed with bipolar and PTSD. You know, he's been in trouble, he's made bad decisions, but unlike a lot of people, he never ran from it.
What's going on now is that recently the restraining order against you that Rihanna had issued has been relaxed. Have you all seen each other, been around each other?
I mean, not really. I mean, it's not really a big deal to me now as far as that situation. I think I'm past that in my life, and I think today is the album day, so that's what I'm focused on. So everybody go get that album.
Have you been able to? How have you been able to?
I've been focusing on this album, you know. I think this album is what, you know, I want people to hear and want people to really get into. So
he owned it, he faced it, and he kept it moving. Meanwhile, there are people in this industry who have done far worse, who have been accused of crimes way more serious, and they still get cover stories. They still get praise. They still get a seat at the table.
But Chris Brown?
He drops a #1 song, wins Best R&B Album at the Grammys, sells out tours, and the industry acts like it never happened.
They don't want to open the doors. And then I can't sit there and be mad at them or be like, man, my career. I just have to focus on the people that do matter and do count. And then just focus on that. At the end of the day, if I go around trying to please everybody that doesn't like me, then I'm not being true to myself. And I think people as a whole, in general, try to do that on a day-to-day. They try to get the nice cars. They try to do stuff so they can feel appreciated or accepted by people. And, you know, once you realize that some people just aren't going to accept you, you just have to face it and live your life. And then, you know, cherish the people who do care.
How do you look at a man who's still creating, still growing, still dominating, and decide that he's not worthy of acknowledgement? His latest single, Residuals, just hit #1. His 1111 Deluxe album won 2025 Grammys Album of the Year for R&B. And he's still one of the most consistent artists of our generation. Can't cancel dedication, can't cancel consistency, and you damn sure can't cancel talent. So if you want to have a real conversation about who's the greatest, if you want to talk about impact, influence, and evolution, then Chris Brown has to be in that conversation, period. Not as a replacement for Michael Jackson, but as an extension of that legacy, as a man who has taken that blueprint and added his own chapter to it. Chris Brown deserves respect. You don't hear about Chris Brown constantly being in trouble anymore, constantly being in bad relationships with women. If his pattern of behavior was really a problem, it would have been something that he would not have been able to stop. This isn't about worshiping the man. This is about recognizing evolution, recognizing greatness. It's about recognizing what happens when a person doesn't give up on themselves, even when the world does. I salute Chris Brown for that. And I hope somebody out there who's watching this, who has been written off, realizes they still have a chance to make it. Because if he can keep going, so can you. Like, comment, subscribe, Established Rich. I'll be back with another one. Peace.